So we're at 3-point perspective interior now, and tools I'm going to use are standard things I've been using. The transparent triangle, the transparent ruler, the mechanical pencil I'm going to use B to make it show up a little bit better, a little softer. Again, with the mechanical pencil, and also a compass. I'll show you something a little bit later on for our cone of vision, or where we're going to make our true picture plane frame. Okay, so what I have in front of me as we get started is the parameters that I have made for our 3-point interior. So the scene, the action is this. We're going to be looking down a vast chute, a tunnel, and this is going to be the scene in Return of the Jedi where Darth Vader throws the Emperor over the ledge down into the chute, and we're going to have Darth Vader here, Luke Skywalker laid out, and we're going to have the Emperor falling and tumbling down into the chute, and we're going to have all kinds of mechanical things in through here. So I've got this whole spread in through here because I need it to show where I want to put the tunnel. Now, I'm not going to talk about completely everything I do here because we're a simple form informal. The main thing to remember for now, since we're keeping it simple and a little bit more intuitive, and we can even get more intuitive later on, and we will, is this. We have a left vanishing point, we have a right vanishing point, of course, and then we have a vertical vanishing point down at the bottom that all verticals go to, and then all left planes, all right planes, and diminishments go to one of these three. That's the main thing to realize. Now there's some distortion that's going to go on in through here that happens in 3-point, especially the way I've set it up for an extreme view looking down at bird's eye, but we're going to play off that and take some of that away when we cut into it with a frame, a movie screen frame. Okay, so that's what's going on. Okay, now when I come back, I'm already going to have set up my vanishing points, my horizon line, and a few other areas so I can expedite things and get it started. And then we're going to build this interior up some, and then once we finish that out, which will look approximately close to this, then I'm going to take it and scan it and go into the Cintiq, and then we're going to add our figures and more complexity and really kind of finish this thing out. So stay tuned, I'll be right back, and we'll get started with the building phase. Okay, see you then. Okay, let's get started. So I've already taken the liberty of setting in my horizon line, my center of vision, my left vanishing point, right vanishing point, my vertical vanishing point, what's going to be our new eye level, okay, since we're off the horizon line, and then the corner of where our tunnel is going to be right in through here. Now let me back up now and show you, give you some dimensions so you can do that, okay? So you can draw lighter than me, certainly if you need to. Well, you need to, but you want to draw lighter than me. I'm going to draw darker so that it shows up. All right, so the horizon line, which is here, I've got an 18-inch by 24-inch sheet of paper, okay? The horizon line starts measuring from the top, go 1 inch and a quarter. 1 inch and a quarter down, and that's where you put your horizon line. So 1 inch and a quarter down is the horizon line. Each of the vanishing points measure in from the end of the paper 3 inches in, and put a dot for your left vanishing point. So this is 3 inches in, 3 inches in, a dot for your left vanishing point, a dot for your right vanishing point. So left and right, label those. Now, that space in between, just so you know, is 18 inches, which fits into my ruler. That's just the way I want it to fit. Right in the center of that is 9 inches. So our center of vision for now, just that's where our center of our eye is, our station point, is 9 inches. Okay, so put a dot there just so you can have 9 inches, and then put a light line down the middle. Okay, the first dot here, that's our eye level. That's at 7¼ inches. So if I'm going fast, all you have to do is stop the recording, make your measurements, and build to where I'm at. So 7¼ inches down from the horizon line, center of vision here, down 7¼ okay? Then the next mark you're going to make along your center of vision line is from the center point here is 10 inches down, okay? So 7¼ for eye level, 10 inches down for your vertical vanishing point. I'm not going to label these because these are going to get in the way of our information, so we're going to keep them opposite that, or minus that. And then the next one is the corner of where our shaft is going to be approximately here, okay? So right in through this area. So keep that in mind. So that's where we're going with this last dot. Now it goes very simply. Just go 2 inches down from your vertical vanishing point dot, 2 more inches down and 1 inch to the left, and put a mark or a tick or a dot, and that's where we know our corner is going to be of our shaft. That's very important as we get started to have that, okay? So that should get you set up in the composition, and it's really important that we have that, and I'll show you why here in just a few seconds to get that in. Okay, so we have our 3-point setup. We have our left vanishing point, our right vanishing point, we have our vertical vanishing point right in through here. And I better go ahead and maybe make a little bit of a mark on it. I'll just put a V underneath it really quickly. And I may have to take it off later on just to show us, just to make sure that we all know. And I know too, especially that's the vertical vanishing point. Now here's our eye level. And we're going to be building up our information. The most exciting parts of the composition are going to be at this eye level. And I'll talk a little bit later about what these two circles mean, our cone of vision, which is where our eye level and where the clarity, the less distortion of our composition happens in 3-point. We're going to get some serious distortion as we move further away and further out this way and this way of the composition. Well, I want to and that's normal and natural, but I want to diminish some of that by making sure that the majority of the action we keep up in this area, and especially through our cone of vision. Things that we'll get to later on if you want to study more formal perspective. But for right now, let's keep it somewhat more simple and hopefully enjoy the process. Okay, so let's start to build the outer shell of our tunnel. And remember, we had this point here, which was the corner of our shaft, right? So that's what we're going to go through. So from the left vanishing point, let's draw a line through the left vanishing point all the way through the corner and maybe just a little bit farther. Okay, so we have that line there. And let's go now from the right vanishing point through that corner point. So from the right vanishing point, I'll line up through our corner point here. I'll go all the way over from our right to our right vanishing point and through. There we go. Okay, so we're good to go there. Now, we're going to make, we've drawn essentially this so far. Now we're going to make the back right and outer left area of our tunnel. And we need our left vanishing point and our right vanishing point for it. Okay. So I'm on my center line here. I want to stay off that a little bit, and I'm looking at my drawing to make sure we get the right kind of appropriation in through here. So I'm going to come down, and it feels pretty good, maybe right in through here. So I'm going to put a little mark so that you can see it and see if I like that. So right in through here, I'll pull in a little bit so you can see it. I might even sketch it out freehand so you can see it here, just really lightly, and see what that's going to look like when I go from my left vanishing point to my right vanishing point. That looks pretty good. I think I like that pretty well, and I think I'll leave that. So I'm going to put that little mark, make it a little bit darker. Now from the right vanishing point, I'm going to line it up, go through that point all the way out to here and beyond, and when it touches here I stop. That's all I need, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing now from my left finishing point in through here. So my left finishing point lines up to the corner of my shaft, right in through here, right there. There we go. Okay. Now let me darken this in for you so you can see it a little bit better. Slow it down so we can understand. We're going to be building down into, right? So as I'm talking to you and we're building this shaft, air conditioning shaft, mechanical shaft, it's very deep and almost infinite, excuse me, as it goes to the vertical vanishing point, labeled V there. So instead of building up, we're going to be building into the ground surface. Okay, so now we've got our shaft tunnel opening, okay? Just like this, right in through here. Have to think along with me. Okay, that's the first thing. Later on, we're going to build down into it. Down and through. And this, I toned this in just to give a sense of what could be a bottom, but in your composition, you could allow these lines, these vertical lines that come up and out, to actually end at the vertical vanishing point to make it seem even deeper and even more infinite as well. Now, I think the next thing we want to do is just put a back wall here just for effect. And so let's do that next. Let's put this little thing in. I'm going to take these little hatches, these little kind of mechanical circular windows that were in the movie out because they're really not going to be in the actual screenshot of the camera. So let's take this away and let's build up our wall. Okay. All right, so we need a vertical, and I'm going to put the vertical of our wall about right. I'm going to put a dot. I'm just looking at my diagram. As we're going from it about right here, just a dot right in through there. It's not on the center line. It's not lined up with this corner. It's actually a little bit off of both of those. I'm just going to put it there. Now that's where I'm going to build my vertical from. So from my vertical vanishing point, I line up my ruler and just come on up. I'll draw a convergence line to it. Come on up past, go past the horizon line about right there. Okay? Your job is to kind of get it as close as you can to mine. Doesn't have to be completely perfect. Okay. All right, so now from the left finishing point, we're going to go draw through the top and bottom of the corner of this wall. So I line up my ruler, get my head out of the way, right through here and past. If I get my head out of the way, I'll try to move it. I've got to reach pretty far over. Through there, okay? We're going to do the same thing in the bottom. We're going to come all the way through the bottom of that line, corner of our wall, and outwards. Okay? We're creating just a backdrop wall for our composition. Out and through here. There we go. And out and through here quite a bit. And it's just going to fade. This wall is just going to fade out. Okay? So let me darken in this part of the wall. Now we went from the left vanishing point through that corner, this line, and as we extend outward, this becomes the actual right wall of our composition. So I'm going to darken that in so you can see it. You have permission to keep your drawing lots lighter, which is totally good. Okay? All right, so I'm going to sharpen up my pencil as we work. So keep your pencil really sharp. It's going to help always. So I forgot my mechanical eraser, excuse me, my sharpener. So I have to do with a sand pad, which is just as good, actually. Not a problem. Many different ways. All right, so let's do the same thing now on the other side. So from the right vanishing point, we'll go through the top and bottom of our corner of our wall. Okay. Out. Draw lighter here, and I'll go darker here. Okay. And the same thing with the right vanishing point. Out here. And notice it gets steeper as we come out through here. And I'm just going to let this continue to fade over. Try to get my head out of the way. Here. Keep on going there. And keep on going out. And now we have a kind of a backdrop wall, if you will. Something that contains this a little bit better. So this wall here, the left wall was made by going through the top and bottom of this line, which is the corner wall, from the right vanishing point outwards. Same thing on the other side. So from the left vanishing point through this top and bottom of this line gives us the right vanishing point. Okay, and then we're kind of well on our way now to continuing on further. So the next step that we want to do, I think it's instructive, is to start to build our shaft downward. That's actually, of this project, this drawing that we're doing, probably the most fun. And so we're going to start building from these four corners, the middle here, the corner here, the left back, the right back, and then this front corner down to the vertical vanishing point. Okay, and then we're going to create four sides. This one's going to be really narrow because we're bird's eye view, right? So we're looking, see how my hand's coming up and then it comes out and then I'm looking way down. So we're up here somewhere where my little fat fingers are. We're looking downward down to here on top of the action, the composition. So that's where our camera's at, if you will, for our composition. Okay, so the next step is to go from these four corners to our vertical vanishing point. So from this corner to here, this corner to here, this corner to here, this corner to here. So let's do that now. So I'm going to draw a little lighter. So I go from this back corner to my vertical vanishing point, right through there. Maybe I'll draw a little darker so you can see it actually. Sorry about that. So it's tough. Sometimes this camera is tough. And then from the front corner here to our vertical vanishing point, right there. Okay. So we've got that. Okay. Then from this left corner here, back left corner to our vertical vanishing point there. And then from our right corner here, down and on over. Okay. So let's see what that gives us. All right, so now we've got kind of an infinite little area where all these disappear to. So now we have depth coming down. And so you can probably see that why I added this little platform down here, just to help give us a sense of a bottom to it. Now we can make it smaller. You can eliminate yours or you can keep this one. So I think I'm going to keep it just to show you that, and then when we get into the Wacom and Cintiq, when we're adding detail to this, I might take it away or change it and make it even deeper. Okay. All right. So let's create the bottom. So here's what we're doing in concept, and it's going to look pretty funky because we're looking way down. Is we're going to recreate this actual rectangle, which see how it gets so distorted as we come out in 3-point, because we're looking way, way, way down and slightly over. We're going to recreate this down here, and I'll show you how we do it. So I'm going to pick a random dot, and I'll pull the camera in. So we got to be really careful. I'm going to put it right there. Okay, that represents this corner, but way, way, way down here. Okay. So from that dot, I'm going to go back to the right vanishing point, and I'm going to line up my ruler, and where it hits my corner line here, see my pencil coming on down, where it lines up there to there, I'm going to make it dark so you can see it, I stop right there, okay? And I'm going to darken this line in a little bit so you can see it. Okay, there we go. Now, from this new dot, which represents that corner in perspective, way down here, I'm going to draw a line from the left vanishing point, line it up through both the dots, the left vanishing point, this dot, and I'm going to draw a line through to this corner. And now we have this angle down here, okay? Now here's where it gets even more difficult, and I should probably come along and erase this V off of here. I knew that would get in the way. All right, so got that out of the way. Got to be really careful now. So From this point, I line up my right vanishing point through that dot right there. Now you have to be careful. It's off the vertical vanishing point. I'm going to put my ruler out a little bit further so you can really see it change. Right here, over, where it connects up with the next line or corner, from here to here, I'll put a dot. You got to be pretty accurate there, okay? Then all I have to do is come back, line up this dot to my left vanishing point, right in through here. There we go. And there we go. There is the now bottom corner, excuse me, yeah, the corner, but also the bottom part of this pit that we're drawing, or this shaft that we're drawing as well. So it really pays off to have a very tight mechanical pencil as well. Okay, so let me darken this in a little bit, these corners up the shaft. So we're coming up the shaft from very far down below, here and here, and darken it in so we can see it better to there. Now, as I go further, whoops, let me erase that out just a little bit. There we go, clean that up a little bit. You can see that, keep it clean. There we go. All right, so let me go back to our diagram so you can see this. So notice how a slim view we get of this right wall, okay? That means we're closer to it as we're looking down. And the further we look out and away, we see this back left, this back right, and the front right. It almost disappears, but not quite. It gives us that sense of foreshortened viewpoints. Okay, so congratulations, you've got the shaft going down. Now what I want to do is start to separate, find some center points here by doing a crossing X so we can give some graphic kind of depth and dimension, so later on as we add detail we have a better sense of maybe balance or symmetry or even asymmetry. Actually, it was even better to get that. And then we're going to put on this little extra border in through here. Then I think we'll be just about done there. Okay? Okay, so let's do that. Now, remember, here's our eye level. I'm actually going to erase off of that a little bit, lighten it up, just to kind of make sure that doesn't get in the way. Here it is right through there. You can reclaim that. Okay, now I'm going to make this bottom a little stronger with some darker lines here so you can see it. There we go. Now let's find the center of this plane here, from the bottom rectangle where it ends, or where I've ended it for now, to the top here and here. And we do that by drawing a crossing X. Okay, so from one corner to the next, we draw a crossing X, have it there, okay? We have our center right there. Look how far down the actual center. So look how foreshortened it is. So from this point right there, that's the actual center of this entire length. It's there, it's not way up here. So from this point, I can go back to the right vanishing point. That's exciting about perspective. And draw a line across here and here. Look how far that goes. That goes really way far over. And then I can take this point here and line it up from the left vanishing point and come on over. So that shaft is deep and long. It's very deep, very deep. Right in through there, we get some more foreshortening. And so from this point over to here, we end it along here, okay? And then we're going to get a very narrow view of the bottom of it, or this right side here, right in through there. Very narrow, right in through there. Almost disappear on us. Okay, so that's the actual true center, how foreshortened it is from this point up and through. And I think for the sake, I'm going to go ahead and actually tone this in further so that we can see this, just like I did with the other one. The other one's going to be, this will be a little bit different from the other one. No two are the same unless I really take the time to measure. which we did for the most part. So remember this dot right here, that's your vertical vanishing point, and that's the corner right there. Just be careful of that. We're going through that one. Okay, so we found that. Now we can find the center of our next measurement. So from this ending point up to, we can draw a crossing X here and here. Okay, we've done that. Okay, we've got that. Okay. All right, now from the vertical vanishing point, I'm going to find the vertical center from here through this point here. Line that up and see how they all line up. So that's good. We're coming through here, up and on up. There's my center, right through there. Notice how it doesn't look center of this line, but in perspective, it's the center, right in through there. That's important to know, okay? So here's the next center, right in through here, okay? So from this point, I'll go back to the right vanishing point and through, line it up through there. Now I can just bring these over, okay? From the left vanishing point over, line up my ruler through this point here, all the way over until it meets that corner line. And then we'll just keep coming around. Here, line up my right vanishing point to the end line. They almost are touching pretty tight and through there, and they should line up pretty well. Yeah, not bad. Okay, pretty good there. Look at that. They line up pretty good there and there. Make sure I get it right together. There we go. To there. There we go. And there's my next ring. And we'll just keep going all the way up. Okay, so we'll draw another crossing X from here. And we'll just keep finding our centers nice and light. I'll pull a camera in so you can see it here to there. All right, there's our center. And then from the right vanishing point, should get the hang of it right through here. Make it darker. Stop where it meets the corners here. Then bring it over from the left vanishing point over to here. Stop where it meets the corner, right there where my pencil is. A little extra dot there so you can see it. Then we'll bring that over to the right vanishing point. And it starts to open up a little bit where you can see it's pretty steep. Right there. So the point is to make this extreme view looking, bird's eye view looking down, to make it pretty steep so it flattens out pretty good. We'll bring this line over. They meet up pretty well. There we go. And we just keep on doing it. So I'll take another crossing X here. Through here, nice and light. Through there. There's our eye level still, right? I'm going to take it for me and mark it in red so I don't lose it. That's the eye level right in through there. Because that's where the main action, that's where we're going to put the emperor falling, way, way down. There's our center from our right vanishing point, back through, line up, then draw our line through to the corners, here and here. Then line up our ruler, left finishing point through that corner, and on over to this corner. Okay. We'll keep coming over to the right vanishing point through that corner. And we get a nice shaft going. So we're getting closer. Then from this corner, from the left vanishing point, the point of this is to start to learn the procedure, start to see it so you can be creative with it. It's a creative tool. I created this one, then later on you'll create your own. And you can, we're going to get to a point with different lessons. The perspective is going to be vast and deep, and I'm not going to do every lesson consecutively. I'll go to do other things with the figure and basics in more interviews, and we'll come back to it periodically. But it's going to get looser and looser and sketchier, and then we're going to go into the theory of how we, perspective of how we see what we're actually seeing. So it's going to be pretty deep and wide. Perspective is how we see, and it's accurate and it's provable. And it works as we're working this out. It's starting to really work for us. But you have to see it because it can get confusing. All right, so we just made that center, found another center, brought our line over here. You'll just keep going through. Okay, and we're starting to get something that's starting to work like a nice tunnel. Now from this corner all the way over here to here. There we go. And through, make that nice and darker. Now from this corner back to the right vanishing point, or vice versa. And see how it brings it all the way up here. Essentially you want later on, you can kind of see that these are going to line up pretty well. Sometimes they're off a little smidge. A little touch. Oh, excuse me. And which is okay. To be completely precise, I'd slow it down and really keep a fine point, but this is good enough. Right in through there. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We've got a lot of divisions here. Let's find now the center of this plane so we can bring a vertical up. So from this corner, we just do a centering X. That's one of the wonderful things about diagonals in perspective. They help us with depth and centering. So there's our center right there. There's a little dot. Now from the vertical vanishing point, I'll come all the way up through that dot. I'll start here as the end of my shaft, up, and stop at the lip of the tunnel. Right there. Now we split that in two. See how that gives us a better sense of the perspective, you know, coming down into the shaft. That's really nice and easy. And look how far over this one is from this one. This is the true center. This is not a joke. It's not off balance. This is the true center. They're not truly aligned. They can't be. The only way that would be is if it was a complete flat, you know, rectangle looking completely down, kind of like this dirty eraser. We look straight down the center would be right, straight line right in the center, but it's not. Okay, so let's find the center of this plane with a crossing X right here. So just do that there from corner to corner, and that gives us the center for all of these going down. That's what's great, remarkable. So there's the dot for the center right there. Okay, and then from the vertical vanishing point, be careful, not one of your corners, but from your vertical vanishing point, let's line it up, and then from the end of the shaft all the way up to the top of the shaft, right there. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're cooking, right? We're cooking with gas. If you folks in Australia. Okay, we're cooking. So, we're getting close here, right? Now we want to I'm just going to put a little outer border here, and I'm going to dispense with any kind of extra dimensions here. There's really not going to be needed for our composition. Okay, so let's put a little extra dimension, a little shaft here. How thick do you want to make it, etc. So we're going to work around in through here. So what I might do is just start from this center point right here. I want to draw a line to the left finishing point. I'll just kind of really light, carry it about that far. Okay, and all I have to do is just kind of put how thick I want of a dot here, and it's going to carry. It can carry over all the way over. I'll show you. So I think I'll make it about this thick. Okay, so I'll put a dot there, and then guess what I do? I go from my right vanishing point, you got it, draw through that line, kind of all the way over, nice and light, and then we'll darken in a moment, right in through there, okay? And then we'll just start to bring that over. I'm just going to eyeball kind of that thickness over through here, and I think I like it maybe about right, right there. Looks pretty good for now, doesn't have to be exact. And so from the from the left vanishing point through this dot here, right in through here, we'll just start to bring and carry this over. Comes through even further over here, so we're really looking down. Now the same thing over, maybe I'll end it, I don't know, maybe we'll do it on this side, it's actually easier. Maybe I'll put a dot about right there. Looks good. I'm just winging this now. And we'll draw a line all the way over. Okay. And then I'll just figure out how thick I want it on this side. Maybe I want it maybe look a little bit thicker than there for sure. So maybe about right there. I'll put a dot. I'll darken this in so you can really see it, because it's not exact, and I'm just having fun with it. Just approximating. So for the right vanishing point, I'll draw a line through, and then I'll connect these down below here. I'll have to redraw a little there, and they'll connect up, about right here. If you make it too thick, it may come off your page. My drawing surface is 18 by 24. So now, okay, so now I'm going to take my border and I'm going to darken it in so you can see it. And it should get thicker as it comes on the right side, which it does because of the perspective here. Okay, and I'll darken it in up and down here so you can see it. Okay, and then over here to this point, and over now to this edge over through here. Okay, now we've got a little extra border. I think it gives it a little bit better of a framing kind of device. Okay, remember the point of this is to start to understand perspective, do some design, and then do some figure referencing and get it in. It's not about a lot of major detail, although we're going to add some detail for sure to this. Okay? All right, so I think we're getting close. The last thing I want to show you is how I set this up now in terms of where we're at with the circle. So you can kind of, well, pull the camera in, you can kind of see this. Maybe I should make this a little darker. I'll take my compass and I'll go back and I'll darken these two circles to show you how we're building off this. So I'm going to darken this circle in now so you can see it, the first outer circle. This is what we call your cone of vision. And I haven't talked a lot about this yet, but this is where in our view of this composition where we have the least amount of distortion in through here. So I'm going to just kind of coat it on the outer edge in red. Now it's about total width across from our vision about 60 degrees. That's where that 60 comes from. Okay, so we have about 60 degrees here, and this is where, and the reason why I'm showing you this now, just to give you a little background on this, is this is where the major part of the focal point of our drawing is going to be, and that's the emperor. See these arrows? This is where the emperor is going to be falling. He's going to be here much smaller, falling down into this shaft, being tossed over from Darth Vader. Okay, so that's the first circle. So that's our extended cone of vision. But then we can come in even tighter at about 30 degrees and really get a sense of how we see. We see, unfortunately, we see very limited in terms of our overall vision. We don't have strong peripheral vision. And so we see very tightly in. Now we change our eyes very quickly, and every time we change our view, it can be very subtle with our view, but every time we change, our cone of vision changes some. And this circle changes. If we looked over here really quickly, this circle would go over here and over here. Now this circle in blue is a 30-degree cone, and really gets us pinpointed into where we focus. So out of all this, because we get so much distortion here, and the reason why is we're further away from the cone. So the further we get away from our cone of vision, the more distortion we have in the way we see. But the reason why we don't see distortion in our normal vision is because we can't see that far out. Anytime we try to see the distortion out of our cone, like you see the corner of your eyes, anytime you switch your eyes over here, you're resetting this cone every time. So we can't see the distortion, but we can when we draw a linear perspective. We can see the distortion, which happens where? Greatly here, and greatly here. So we got all of this in our viewpoint so that we could really focus in on our focal point. And this is where our frame of our movie screen is going to be, and we're going to focus in on this area to get the shaft to really go down even further. So that's where our focal point is, and that's where my eye level is, and my center point of my new eye level is right there, and that's where our cone of vision. Just to give you a little background, now if you study with me later on formal linear perspective, I'll go into that very deeply. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to catch this dot right there, okay? And now I'm going to put a 30-degree cone. So I just made that cone with this compass, so it'll be about the same thing. And I'm going to put that in. If you want to put yours in, that's fine. If not, play along with me and just have it there, I think that's great too. You don't have to have it, but I want you to see it so that you see what I see, okay? And you know a little bit about why we're going to put the emperor in this area. I'll keep it pretty light in a Cintiq. And if those of you, again, if you don't have a Cintiq, you can use a ruler, tracing paper, and that will be just as well, just as good as well. Okay, so I think we got it. Let's refresh and see what we did here. We built the composition from 3-point perspective. We have our left vanishing point, our right vanishing point, our vertical vanishing point, which remember is right here. Okay, that's the center where all our verticals are coming out of, diminishing out of or into. And we built our wall, our left wall, our right wall. And then we built the outer shell, the inner shell of our shaft. Then we put our verticals coming into and out of, right? Then we built more depth lines to give us a better sense of that vision. Then we built our outer shell in through here. And then we talked a little bit about that 30-degree cone of vision, which really zeroes in on where the focal point is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to put, when we go back into the Cintiq, we're going to do some referencing points at 5 and 10 feet, where we're going to put probably Luke laying down over here, almost kind of unconscious. Darth Vader looking down as he throws off the Emperor, and the Emperor will fall right in through here and be pretty small and diminished as he's going down this shaft. Okay, so that's what's happening next. So good luck. So you're already there with your 3-point interior. Now let's make it even more fun. I'll scan this off. We'll put it into the high HD Cintiq. If you don't have one, that's great. It's okay too. We'll use tracing paper, and we'll go to town and we'll see what transpires with the last figure referencing for simple form perspective. Okay, stay tuned. See ya.